We finally made it. We're talking about playoffs? Playoffs. We're talking about playoffs. That's right. Week 15 streamers. I know it's week 14 right now, but we're prepping you for next week if you need to stream any of the positions.
That's right.
To help you move on to the next round of the playoffs. So week 15 streamers, let's start at the quarterback position, Badaki. Jimmy Garoppolo is a good stream in week 15. If you need help at the quarterback position, he plays the Atlanta Falcons, who currently give up the second most points to quarterbacks. Since week 8, this team hit a groove with Mitchell, Debo, and Kittle coming back in that timeline, along with Elijah Mitchell playing really well. Since week 8, Jimmy Garoppolo is a quarterback 4 in fantasy. He's been on an absolute roll, and Trey Lance is absolutely not coming into this team this year. He's not a part of their plans for this year, only for next year. Who's our next quarterback that you could stream in week 15, Badaki?
Our second quarterback is Taysom Hill. He's playing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, which is a little bit of a, I guess, grittier game for the streaming quarterback. But Taysom Hill, he's a dual threat. You know, you saw what he did against the Dallas Cowboys. He did in the air 264 plus yards in the air, but on the ground, that's where he kind of made his money. 100 plus yards rushing. He threw 2 touchdowns, but he also threw 4 interceptions. If he didn't throw those 4 interceptions, I mean, he could have been a top 3 quarterback. He was already a top 6 quarterback with the 4 interceptions. My guy could have finished as like I said, top QB 3 if he didn't throw those interceptions. So if you guys need and want a dual threat quarterback, Taysom Hill.
I love it. And honestly, what he can produce on the ground makes him one of the most confident streams, in my opinion. Tua Tagovailoa is the last streaming quarterback we're going to bring to you for week 15. He is 9th in scoring at the quarterback position since week 6. This team is on a 5-game win streak. And a part of that is because this defense has massively improved. When they didn't have Xavier Howard and Byron Jones on the field, this defense was getting torched. Now they have them back. When the defense plays better, that means the offense has more opportunities and they're on the field for more of that time period. Waddle is starting to break out. Tua has played really well, and they now play the Jets in week 15, who give up the 8th most points to the quarterback position. If you need a stream, Tua's not bad. I think we ranked these guys on the podcast. We said Taysom, Jimmy G, and Tua.
Correct.
If we were going to give you an order of the guys that we're most confident in. Now let's go to the wide receivers. This will be quick because there's not a ton of information. We just want to give you some variety of people that you could play. So Badaki, who's the first wide receiver you could stream on that week?
That's right. Our first wide receiver is Chase Claypool. He's playing the Tennessee Titans, who give the most points to fantasy wide receivers. Look, it's not sexy, it's not exciting, but if there's somebody in week 14 that gets injured, you can probably start Chase Claypool with some confidence. Like I said, the most points to fantasy wide receivers the Tennessee Titans give.
Yep. Jamison Crowder is our next streaming wide receiver. He's probably the most available of the guys we're going to bring to you today of all these wide receivers. He plays the Dolphins, who give up the 5th most points to wide receivers. Corey Davis is confirmed going to miss the rest of the year. Elijah Moore is really stepping up and standing out. And Zach Wilson looks competent.
Yeah.
I expect that these cornerbacks will not be guarding Jamison Crowder. Elijah Moore for sure, and maybe Denzel Mims, some of the guys on the outside, which means Crowder should get more opportunity.
I agree.
And with Davis gone, he should see probably 6 to 8, maybe 9 targets in this game.
Yeah, and our last and final guy is Brandon Ayuk. Once again, not sexy, but the Falcons gave up the 8th most points to the fantasy wide receiver. And before the bye week in week 6, he was wide receiver 83. I don't know what happened. They didn't trust him. But after the bye week, he's currently wide receiver 23. So they found the rhythm. Something happened with, I don't know. Something just happened. They just trusted him more. So if Brandon Ayuk is on waiver wires, or if you have him on your team, I think it's a good streaming opportunity here if you need a wide receiver.
From week 1 to 6, we call that the blip for Brandon Ayuk. Okay. The tight end position, we're going to give you 3 tight ends to stream. Number 1, Ricky Seals-Jones. We talked about Logan Thomas being a trade for target 2 weeks ago, and he played so well last week. He looked so good, and then he got injured. We don't believe he's going to be back for the fantasy playoffs. He could, but if he's not there, Ricky Seals will be the guy. They play the Eagles in week 15, who give up the 2nd most points to tight ends. Yeah. And when Logan's been injured and Ricky's been healthy, he's been the guy. He's been on the field 100% of those snaps for most of those games, getting 6 to 9 to 10 targets in those games. So Ricky Seals feels like a really good stream in week 15 if you need help at the tight end position.
Yeah, our second tight end is Hunter Henry, and he's playing the Indianapolis Colts, 4th most points to the tight end position. again. Look, he obviously came off a goose egg. You saw what the weather was like against the Buffalo Bills. They only threw 3 passes. I don't expect that to happen this next game or week 15. It's a dome game, so you don't have to worry about weather. Okay, but what you can expect is to find him in the end zone. He's currently tied for first amongst tight ends in touchdowns.
That's crazy.
I mean, he's tied with 7 touchdowns on the year. I think he'll find the end zone again at the end of in week 15. So Hunter Henry is a good streaming option.
Yeah, he's a decent stream. Zach Ertz is probably the least confident tight end we have to bring to you as far as streaming tight ends in week 15.
Yeah.
Plays the Lions. The Lions aren't very good, but there's a possibility that he's just not necessary to the game plan. If D-Hop's there and Rondale and Kirk and AJ are all healthy and even Edmonds coming back, then Ertz could be out of the game script. You know, there's so many good options, which is great for their team, but bad for fantasy. Anyway, if we were to rank these tight ends, I would go Ricky Seals, then Hunter Henry, and then Ertz. I believe you would go Henry, Ricky Seals, and Ertz. So we all have Ertz last. To finish the video, we're going to give you 3 defenses that you can stream. We'll give them to you quite quickly. These are defenses that you could pick up now, so you don't have to pick them up next week. So you're planning ahead. But Aki, who are those defenses?
Yeah, the first streaming defense we have is the 49ers against the Atlanta Falcons, who give the most points to fantasy defense. Like Zach said, Jimmy G's hot, Brandon Ayuk, Debo, George Kittle, they're kind of firing on all cylinders. So, I mean, this game should be easy for them to win, and the defense should just go crazy. The second defense is the Arizona Cardinals playing against the Lions. 7th most points of defenses. Like I said, if Kyler Murray is going off and the Detroit Lions aren't doing too good right now, they did win their first game, so congratulations to them. But that's not going to happen again. And this this team is struggling tremendously. So the Cardinals. I keep saying Carolina. The Cardinals defense is going to do something. And the last defense to end it nice and strong is the Miami Dolphins playing the Jets. Second most points to fantasy defenses they allow. I mean, come on. Zach Wilson is going to throw an interception. He's going to have a strip fumble. Something's going to happen. He's bound to make mistakes. You see it happening.
Those 2 cornerbacks, Xavier Howard and Byron Jones, are really, really impacting this defense. If we were to rank these, for me, I think you agreed on the podcast. I would go Cardinals, 49ers, and then Dolphins in order if I was to rank them, if you're curious who you should pick up. Those are our streams for week 15. We're going to do these for the entire playoffs 1 week ahead so you can plan ahead. You don't want to be in the waivers next week and have not prepared because everyone's going to be going for the same players. So
that's right.
Make these moves now, and we hope that you get in the next round of the playoffs. Comment down below if you have any questions.
Yo, what's good? Thanks for watching. We got a lot more videos.
A lot more.
If you want more videos.
Watch it.
You can also subscribe.
Right now.
If you want to.
You need to.
And lastly, don't forget that you can sign up to support the show and get exclusive content by going to patreon.com/fantasylandfam.